Hello guys, welcome back to this LiveWire course, and in this lesson specifically I want us to look on now again to pass data on edit, and I want us to make it more lively. We haven't done anything on the edit page, but we have done on create page. So I want us to see how we can be able to pass data and be able to edit the data that is in the database. So what I'm going to do first is that I'm going to let me actually copy this, because currently when we go to the initial route is returning not found, which is not good. So I'll just say that if I go to the initial page, I want you to go to list task. Actually, let me just copy this. I'm too lazy for that, and then I'll just paste that here. So that is okay. So now what I want is that when I go to, where is our guy here, on the list task, currently what we are doing is that we are getting this data, using this simple for each year. And what I want now is that when I go inside LiveWire class inside the list task, I want now to get this data from the database. I don't want to continue to render this data like this. So what I'm going to do, for now, what we can do, we don't need to create a public property. What we can do, we can just do the normal Laravel stuff, and here is I'm going to say let us say a variable to do's like this, and I'm going to equate this to do, and I'm going to call everything here. Later, even in this course, we'll be able to use pagination and stuff like that, but for now this is okay. So let me use compact. I prefer this guy, compact, and then I just pass to-dos like this. So our data will be, okay, what is this? Spelling error. So now our data to-dos here will be passed to our list task, and now instead of using task here, we can just use to-dos as to-do. And then instead of to do like this, we can now use the object notation like this, and then like this, and then like that. And then here, of course, we are going to pass now the ID like this, and of course this need to be to do not task. We replace this very fast here like that, and like that. And now we are good to go. So if I go back here and do a refresh, of course we have only one task in the database, so that is what I expect to see here. And as you can see now, we have this one task here, all right, which is okay. So what I'm going to do is that we'll pass the alert later. For now, what I want is that when someone has created this data, I want to redirect, so I can use the normal return redirect like that. Direct, let me use route, and here, okay, let us pass route here and say we'll call this to do's dot index. Let us call that list task like that, and I'll go inside the web, and then we have this guy here, just say name, then I'll paste that there. So if we go to list task, we have create task. We're going to create this task. Okay, let us try to create this and see. And now when I do a refresh here on the create task, let us try and create here test3. Let us say test3. Let us submit this. All right, it creates the task and redirect us to the list task. And that is what we exactly wanted. So here I put this, I done something like this, wasn't supposed to be there. It was supposed to be redirect route. I don't know why I forgot that, but that is okay. But now when we go to the list task guy here, where is it here? So now we are redirecting to the edit task and we are passing the to do ID. And if I go to the web.php here, we are getting this ID. And of course, if I go inside the mount for the edit to do, we are getting this ID. So what we can do actually is that we can use route model binding, the normal route model binding that we use on Laravel, and then we can see that instead of ID we are going to use to do, all right? And so the to do that will be passed from the mount function will be equated to this to do here, all right? So now I need to change on the web, I need to change this ID instead to be to do, all right, like this. That will do. And then if I go back to the edit to do now, I need also now to say this. Of course, we have the name, and the name, of course, will be from the to do that we have passed here, and say that it will be the name, and also we have the description, right? So what we are simply doing here is that we are setting the values for this, for this form using these to do values, all right? So when I go now to the edit to do here, since I've binded those values, I can now comfortably say that I'm going to use wire model here, and I'm going to use, let us say live is equals to name, and then down here I'm going to say wire model dot live, and this is going to be description, like that. And then of course we need to wire submit this form. So I'm going to wire submit, and when I submit this form I want to call an action by the name update, all right? I also like just adding the method post here, and also the at srf token, like that. And then the last thing that we need, of course, to do is also to add we need also to add the errors here. So I'm going to pause to add that very fast. Actually, let me just copy paste from this guy. I'm going to type everything here, go back here, I'll paste here, I'll go back here, I'll copy this guy, go back to the edit, and go, is it, go down here, and I'm going to paste that here. So we have that description and name. And now if I go to edit, we also need now the public. We also need the public name, of course, here. And we also need the public description, of course. So I'm going to say description very fast. And we also need to, to hashtag validate. So now this seems, it should be now familiar to you. I'm going to say required, like that. Copy this very fast. I'm going to paste here. And then now, of course, we need the update function, all right? So we need to call the public function update. And in this update guy, since we have a to-do guy here, and when we initialize the mount function, we are setting this to do. So we can simply say this, our to-do guy here, we'll call the update function here now, right? Because this is a Laravel collection, and then we'll do what we'll say that our name will be the name that will be passed, of course, which has been binded, all right? And our description here will also be the description which has been binded from the inputs. So anytime the user updates the input will be bounded to these inputs, all right? And if I've done everything correct, I believe this should work fine. So that is it. So let me recap again. On the list task here, I pass the ID. When I go to web, I route bound, I bound the model from the route. And then when I go to edit, I get this value here as to do. Then I assign it to do, the name I get from the to do that has been passed, the description, and this, of course, they are binded to this input. So those values will appear there, and when someone do an edit, those value will be used to update this value by calling this update function that we have inside the to do, this guy here. So if I go back here, so something else we can do is that we can forgot to add this validate. We need to validate, of course, and of course, lastly, what we can do is to return redirect. And I'm going to redirect route. This route is going to be to-dos dot index. I believe that is the name that I gave the list guy. Where is it? To-dos dot index. All right. So let us save this, do a refresh, and try to see if this works. So I'll refresh here, and then I'll click on this. It takes me, and you see the values are set. This is wonderful. So let us say test edited. Let's say this is description. Let's go edited, and then I'll submit this. Yeah, it redirects me back here, and we have test edited, description edited. Let's try this also. Let's put this to be test 56, maybe this to be maybe desk 56. I'm just doing dummy data here. I submit this data, and there we go. So that is how we pass data through components and how we are able to edit and redirect. All right. And that is it, guys, for this lesson. I hope you have learned something. And until we meet in the next lesson, bye bye.